ऍक्टिव्हिटीज आणि यू कॅन इन्सर्ट व्हिडिओज. छान, ऍक्च्युली खूप नवीन नवीन ऍप आलेत आता, त्याच्यामुळे वी कॅन डू. फक्त थोडंसं शिकायला आपल्याला वेळ पाहिजे आणि हौस पाहिजे. चला, काहीतरी नवीन
महाजन सर जॉईन झालेत वाटतं बहुतेक.
Yes,
सर, गुड इव्हनिंग सर.
Good evening. Good evening.
गुड इव्हनिंग सर.
Good evening.
गुड इव्हनिंग सर. महाजन सर, गुड इव्हनिंग सर.
माया मॅडम तुम्ही सांगाल तेव्हा मग
Good
आपण सुरू
evening.
करूया.
हो हो हो. गुड इव्हनिंग सर.
Good evening, madam.
हा, काय वॉक वगैरे घेऊन आलात की काय?
पळून वाव
नाही
कसला.
नाही, नाशिक
सायकलिंग
नाशिकची
करून
थंडीच
आले
खूप
सर.
आहे.
माया मॅडम सर पळतात, वॉक नाही घेत. आपण वागू.
ऍक्च्युली आय नो. बरोबर आहे. पळतात, सायकलिंग, काय काय चालू असतं.
Cycling.
यू आर अ ग्रेट इन्स्पिरेशन फॉर ऑल ऑफ अस.
Thank you, madam. Thank you. I hope my picture and sound is pretty clear.
येस
Yes, yes. Yeah.
क्लिअर आहे सर.
Shall we wait or start? काय करायचंय? I think we can start.
Yes, ma'am. Let's start. Let's start. People will join. थोड्या वेळात होतीलच अजून join.
ओके मॅम.
हा.
ओके, करायचं मॅडम सुरू.
येस येस, करून टाक. या.
Good evening, everyone. Myself, Dr. Neelavati Kasnale, welcome you all on behalf of Society of Anesthesiology, Pimpri Chinchwad, for this very informative and a different kind of webinar, Family Benevolent Fund, Need of an Hour, and Private Practitioners, Concerns and Solutions. For this webinar, I welcome you all. I welcome Dr. Manisha Katikar, madam, who is a very enthusiastic, encouraging President, MSc ISA. Welcome, ma'am. I feel very happy to welcome Dr. Milind Paul, sir, immediate past President, MSc ISA. Welcome, sir. I am also pleased to welcome Dr. Hitendra Mahajan, sir. Sir is a past President, MSc ISA. We all know sir for his cycling passion. I welcome Sir Sale, sir.
Thank you, sir.
I also welcome Dr. Sangeeta Deshpande, madam, who is a president, ISC Aurangabad. Ma'am, very warm welcome. I also welcome our president, very dynamic, encouraging, active and energetic, Dr. Maya Bhalerao, madam. Our secretary, Dr. Seema Suryavanshi, madam. BC member, Dr. Sumit Lad, sir. Treasurer, Dr. Bhavesh. And last but very important, you all delegates, welcome to this webinar. I now request Dr. Maya Bhalerao, madam, to say a few words and welcome all.
Thank you, Dr. Neelavati. Thank you so much. On behalf of SAPC, I, Dr. Maya Bhalerao, President, take the opportunity to welcome our dynamic President of MSc ISA, Dr. Manisha Katikar, madam, who is the panelist for today's panel discussion. Dr. Milind Paul, immediate past President of MSc ISA. Dr. Hitendra Mahajan, past President of MSc ISA. Dr. Sare sir, President-elect of MSc ISA. And Dr. Sangeeta Deshpande, who is a ISA ISA Aurangabad President. All the senior members who have logged in, and dear delegates, a very warm welcome. Friends, there is a tectonic shift in anesthesia practice in last 2 decades. We have moved from solo practice to group practice, from simple equipment to ultra-modern modules, from various researches to availability of resources and ultra-modern gadgets. However, private practice in anesthesia still remains a challenging subject to discuss. We have many situations where anesthesia and anesthesiologists are still taken for granted. Even the juniors are still being exploited. Our bread and butter still depends on surgical practices. So it's time to look back, introspect, and analyze where we are lacking. What are the lacunae? What should I do to improve the conditions? I think there are many questions. Satisfaction, respect, financial stability, honor in our anesthesia fraternity. And all these questions I think we should have some answers. I will tell you one example. If you have seen the yesterday's Republic Parade, you must have realized the military might. The exemplary parade was witnessed and appreciated all over the world, and the neighboring countries were awestruck to see the Atmanirbhar Bharat, self-reliant India. And I think the answer lies there only, one voice. So I think we should contribute to make our parent organization, our city branches to grow bigger, stronger with unity, solidarity, strength, and power. We members will definitely see the bright future very soon if we do so. So I think our branch will be working and our committee is working on these issues which we will be discussing today. For example, minimum mandatory standards in operation theater, standardization in charges. So these things we will be working on it, and we will be circulating these charts in our Pimpri-Chinchwad city hospitals. So I appreciate cooperation from my committee members, especially Dr. Seema Suryavanshi, Dr. Sumit Lad, and all the team members who are really giving us the support. Today, we have such panel discussion where we will be finding out the answers. Dr. Uma Deshmukh, our senior anesthesiologist, she has taken the lead to moderate this session today. So while saying bye-bye to you and for the proceedings, thank you very much and stay connected. Long live ISA. Over to you, Madam. Uma Deshmukh, Madam.
Madam, FBF चा आधी करेल.
Yeah.
Are we going to start
Over
with
to you, Nilavati? Yeah.
Dr. Nilavati's
Okay.
presentation?
Yes, ma'am. Okay, thanks, madam, for your informative words. Friends, now we will move towards today's first topic, Family Benevolent Fund, Need of an Hour. Friends, we all know that life is very uncertain. No one is permanent here. The one who is born will die one day. मृत्यूचा फेरा हा कोणालाही चुकलेला नाहीये. So if some mishap happens with us or with our colleague, what will happen to our family? So we can't bring that person back, but we can help at least financially to that family without any paperwork and with an easy manner. So friends, we have with us Dr. Sangeeta Deshpande madam to guide us on this Family Benevolent Fund. Sangeeta Deshpande madam had done her MD anesthesia from Government Medical College, Surat. She worked as a consultant anesthesiologist at Sri Sardar Smarak Hospital, Bardoli for 2 years. Madam has started her private practice in 1996 in Aurangabad city. Till she has continued her practice. Madam has took a training at Ruprecht-Karl University, Heidelberg, Germany in 2002. Madam worked as a coordinator, ISA City Branch, Aurangabad from 2014 to 2016. Madam also worked as a treasurer, ISA City Branch, Aurangabad from 2016 to 2018. She also worked as Honorable Treasurer, MSc ISA from 2018 to 2021. From 2018 to 2021, she also worked as a Vice President at ISA City Branch, Aurangabad. At present, from 2021, Madam is a President, Association of Anesthesiologists, Aurangabad. Madam, over to you, Madam. You can start your presentation.
Unmute yourself. Sangeeta madam, unmute.
मॅडम अनम्यूट करा. म्यूट आहे मॅडम. अनम्यूट. हा.
Hello, can you hear now?
Yes. Now we can hear, ma'am.
Yes. Good evening, everyone. Thanks for the introduction. Respected Maharashtra State Chapter President Dr. Manisha Katikar Madam, immediate past President Dr. Milind Pol Sir, past President Dr. Hitendra Mahajan Sir, all the dignitaries from MISA, and National ISA, all my dear friends and colleagues. First of all, I thank Society of Anesthesiologists of Pimpri-Chinchwad for giving me an opportunity to talk on this topic of Family Benevolent Fund. I thank President Dr. Maya Bhalerao Madam and Secretary Dr. Seema Suryavanshi Madam. Friends, it's my little effort to enlighten everyone and motivate the colleagues who are not the members of ISA FBF till date. See, when we take birth, death is inevitable. Perfectly said by Nilavati right now. Priorly, people were not prepared for it, but gradually we are getting prepared for it. As a result, we are taking health insurances, term policies, accidental policies, and whatnot. In a similar pattern, our ISA also takes care of you, and after have an existence of Family Benevolent Fund. Family Benevolent Fund is the scheme in which if you are registered and its member, then maybe your sudden, accidental, or due to chronic illness demise, your society pays your nominee with certain lump sum amount. All the life member of ISA can be member of our own ISA FBF scheme. Now to explain it in an easy way. Hello. Sushil, क्या हालत नहीं? Hello, I cannot move my screen.
शेअर करायला लागेल तुला स्क्रीन शेअर करायला लागेल.
हो तेच.
मॅडम स्क्रीन दिसत आहे.
हा एकच मिनिट. एकच मिनिट.
हा
now you can see. Yeah.
हो दिसते.
To make it easy, I have divided into 3 parts. That is why you should be a member of ISA FBF, when and how can you be a member. Okay. Now first we'll take why. If you ask any of your colleague, hey, are you a member of ISA FBF? There are variable answers. I don't know about the scheme. If I know it, I can become its member. Secondly, someone may say, yes, I know about it, but I'm not interested. It's not the priority. I have enough money so that after my death, it can take care of my family. Someone can say, अरे very casually, अरे आजकल में कर लेंगे यार, उसमें क्या बड़ी बात है. Your hard-earned money you spend basically in the following patterns: academic support for CME conferences, ISA city branch memberships, workshops, journals, professional support for litigation, guidelines for safe practice, professional indemnity tie-ups, personal supports for health cover, life cover, disability cover, retirement funds. And moreover, your basic necessity is home loan installments, car loans, insurance, hot living, Sunday movies, shopping, vacation, maybe in India or abroad. Have you ever given a thought about your social responsibility towards your demised colleague anytime? Unfortunately, whenever you get or hear the news of someone's sudden death, then what is your reaction? Immediately you start posting messages saying RIP, Om Shanti, Namaskar everywhere on social platforms like WhatsApp, FB, Instagram, Twitter, and whatnot. And then you turn your face back and to your own routine. But here comes the picture. But if you are a member of ISA FBF, then you share just rupees 300 per day to the family of your departed colleague. Remember, my friend, you cannot go personally to your departed soul's home and offer his family rupees 300. Can you? No. This great job is done by ISA FBF. What are the advantages of, sorry, see the contribution, this is chart shows how the contribution goes. See, in 2006, it was just 225. Now, just in 221, it has gone up to 4,400 because it was a COVID era last year, right? Now, when any life member of ISA or associate member is eligible to join the fund, the member above the age of 60 are not eligible to join the fund. Couple members should remember that they should join the fund separately. Eligibility for claim. A member attains the eligibility to claim the benefit 1 year or 365 days after joining the fund. Membership comes into effect only when ISA FBF policy documents are approved by the President, Honorary Secretary, and Honorary Treasurer of the fund, and the certificate granted to the member. Advantage of FBF. Premium is very minimum compared to any insurance scheme. An insurance scheme, here I won't say insurance scheme, it is a social responsibility, your own social act. Mental satisfaction of helping one of your deceased members' families by contributing rupees 300 each to those families. Life members up to the age of 60 can join the scheme. No medical certificate is needed for joining the scheme. Nowadays, due to stress and tensions of life, in very young age, you are comorbid person with BP and sugar as your good friends. When you go for health insurance, your comorbidity increases your premium amount. But here in FBF, you will never be asked about any of your medical checkup or your medical certificate. You are accepted with your comorbidity. Easy settlement of death claim with minimum formalities. We are targeting that if we are 10,000 members, we can offer 30 lakh to each member who has passed away. So more the members, we can offer more amount. Now, how can you be a member? You can take a screenshot of this. This slide gives you website, email, Dr. Sagu Varghese sir, Honorary Secretary's contact number, office number, and the address of our ISA FBF office. You just have to go to ISA Webin, open the ISA FBF, click register, enter your ISA number, open FBF form, fill it and submit. You can even download the form, fill it and send to FBF office by post. Payment by check, DD, online in the account of FBF mentioned in the form. The receipt of the payment should be sent to FBF office. Membership certificate will be delivered to you to your address. Please keep this certificate in safe custody as it will be required at the time of claim settlement. Please show it to your spouse and children at the later age so that they know that importance of that certificate. I mean, any communication required can be done with the FBF office on the number given or on the website FBF. This is the application form which you can download from the site. You can fill it and send to the office also. Now, admission fees. A non-refundable deposit will be collected from members joining the fund according to their age. Less than 30 years, 2,000, 31 to 35 years, 3,000, 36 to 30 years, 4,500, 41 to 45 years, 6,000, 46 to 50 years, 8,000, 51 to 55 years, 10,000, 56 to 60 years, 15,000. One-time payment of 1 lakh is also acceptable. Annual membership fees of rupees 200 or administrative charges are added to it. This is added along with your DFC charges also. Documents required for you to keep ready for that is properly filled application form, proof of age, Xerox copy of ISA Life membership certificate, 2 passport size photograph, admission fees either as a demand draft or at par check or through online transfer into the ISA FBF account. Members contribution. Every member of this fund shall pay rupees 200 every year as annual membership fee. Every member of this fund shall pay fraternity contribution of rupees 300 on the event of the death of a member as intimated by the honorary secretary every year. Life membership of FBF. A life member of ISA is eligible to join as the life member of ISA FBF on payment of a one-time lump sum amount of 1 lakh, which is non-refundable. Such members need not make any further payment to the fund and shall enjoy the same benefit as that of other members of the fund. The current ordinary member of FBF who is life member of ISA can become a life member of FBF under this fund by paying 1 lakh less the admission fees paid if any. Such member shall also pay the fraternity contribution and other dues till the date of conversion to life membership. Fraternity contribution will be sent once in a year from 1st October onwards, either by email or by SMS or by Indian Postal Service. Please intimate the office in case of change of your address, telephone number, mobile number, and email ID. The fraternity contribution shall be paid till 31st December nowadays, I think so. It is responsibility of the member to find out from the office of the fund as how much he or she has to pay. Annual membership fee, fraternity contribution fee, one-time payment fee may change from time to time after the approval of the general body. Members' right. In the event of death of a member, his nominee is entitled to receive the fraternity contribution from the remaining members, calculated rupees 300 per member. The financial year is from 1st April to 31st March. The fraternity contribution to be paid by each member is the total number of deaths that occur from 1st April to 31st March. Voluntary retirement. Any member can voluntarily retire from the membership by giving a written request to the secretary. His or her membership will be terminated and he or she will not get any refund. Termination of membership. If any member has furnished wrong information in his or her application form or at any time during the period of subsistence of his or her membership, by which he or she violates any provision of this fund and thus tries to obtain any unfair advantage under this fund, then after giving him or her an opportunity of being heard, the managing committee of the fund shall terminate his or her membership of the fund by passing a resolution by majority member of the managing committee. If a member fails to pay his or her share of fraternity contribution within 30 days of the demand by the secretary, then he or she shall be treated as a defaulter and he or she shall pay penalty of rupees 100 per month as late fee along with this contribution. If member does not clear his or her dues within 3 months after intimation sent by secretary, his or her membership shall automatically stand terminated and the caution deposit shall deem to have been fortified. If a member at any time for any reason ceases to be a member of ISA, his or her membership of this society shall automatically stand terminated. But if such a member revives his or her membership of ISA within a period of 6 months, he or she will get his or her membership of the fund revived by payment of rupees 200 and fraternity contribution payable by him during the period he was not a member. If he or she does not get his or her membership revived within the stipulated period, he or she will be treated as voluntarily retired member and he or she will be given such benefit as per clause 7. Revival of membership can be done only once. Rejoining of member. After termination of the membership as per clause 7 or 8, the member can rejoin in the society as a new member by paying admission fee or caution deposit and submitting a fresh application form provided he or she is not barred by age limit clause and the areas of fraternity contribution, if any, at the time of termination under subclause 3 of 8 clause. The member has to obtain membership of ISA before applying for rejoining. Members who have rejoined as a fresh member will have to pay fraternity contribution and administrative fee from the date of joining. Claim procedure. Death of a member, nominee or ISA city branch, secretary or president, or any ISA FBF member will inform the same to the secretary of the fund and make a claim by submitting prescribed claims form available with the secretary or website. The claim form shall be duly filled in along with the relevant certificate and other relevant enclosures as mentioned in the claim form are to be submitted to the secretary of the fund. Duly attested and forwarded by the president or secretary of the concerned city or state branch within 1 year from the date of the event. In case there are no city branch at the place, the president or secretary of the state branch can attest and forward the claim. In short, the death claim needs only death certificate by appropriate authority, ISA membership original certificate, and PAN of the nominee. This has to be certified. These 3 documents has to be certified by ISA, state or city branch and should be sent to the ISA FBF office. The signature of the nominee shall be attested by the manager of the bank in which the nominee is holding the account. The entire claim amount will be paid to the first nominee only. The nominee or the second nominee, in case of the death of the first nominee of the deceased member, will get the claim as per the order of preference given by the member. Computation of fraternity contribution benefit payment. The fraternity contribution is calculated according to the number of members paid their fraternity contribution on the previous year as on 31st March at the rate of rupees 300 per member. So this is in short that in month of January after 31st December, DFC amount will increase by 100 rupees and in February by 200 and in March by 300 rupees. Now, beyond 31st March till next 3 years, you will be given repeated reminders. No claim will be given in case of the death and membership is alive till 3 years. So you should again get it reinstalled. Defaulters for more than 3 years, membership will be terminated. Like everywhere, MISA is on the top at the national level. In the same pattern, total number of 2,500 new members joined last year. That is till the conference at Ahmedabad is 118. In that, 30 members from Maharashtra. So I give a big hand to MISA for this social act. Take home message. Do not consider ISA FBF like scheme or as insurance scheme. It is scheme of ISA with a motto to help our colleagues' family in their crisis. As such, nobody can go to the family of deceased member and contribute small amount like rupees 300 on behalf of all members of ISA. So it is the noble cause and our duty to join this scheme for helping to deceased members' family. So in the last, I request everyone, it is my humble request to all life member of ISA National. Firstly, if you pay today for someone, someone will pay for you in future. And secondly, please awake to your social responsibility and be an ISA FBF member. With that, I end my today's topic. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. It was very informative, and I know many will get inspired from this, and they will take the FBF membership. As you said, it is not like some insurance. It's we are doing for our colleagues' family and our family after us. So we have to take this opportunity, and we have to take the membership. So by taking this opportunity, I request all the members, please take this FBF membership. It will not be beneficial for us, but it will be beneficial for our colleagues' family and our family after us. As it is said, when you take an umbrella, it won't rain. So take a FBF membership just on a lighter note. And
There is one question,
many
Nilavati, in the chat box.
Yes, madam. One question is there. Yes, ma'am. One
Yeah.
question is there. Someone has asked, ma'am, can a CPS member or an associate member can become a FBF member?
We have written that associate members can be take ISA FBF. I am not
Yes.
clear about CPS member. Manisha madam, can you enlighten?
Yes, ma'am. I heard
Yes.
that CPS members. Yes, ma'am. Manisha madam, you please tell. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, see, the CPS members are associate life members, and
Yeah.
they can have all the facilities of ISA as life members except the right of voting. So, if the CPS members are interested in becoming members of FBF, then definitely they can become the members of FBF.
Yeah, and that was a good question. And thank you, Manisha madam, for making it clear.
One small question from me. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Can we pay rupees 1 lakh at one time, because it was till 2016 you have mentioned. So that facility is still there, or it is not there now?
I think that facility is there till date, I think.
Yes, yes, that
we can
facility is
make
still very much there. That facility is very much there at the moment also. We can take up the
Okay.
life membership of rupees paying by a lump sum amount at only one time, that is rupees 1 lakh. Then
1
we
lakh.
need not pay the every year whatever is the amount that has been that is expected as the dues for every year. That depends on the number of deaths.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
this can be taken like last year, 2 years back, Dr. Madhubala Chinchalkar madam had taken that rupees 1 lakh FBF membership. That can be done definitely. And now the ISA has put a clause. All the president and secretaries of ISA, or all the office bearers of ISA, in fact, they should opt for FBF membership.
Yes.
Madam, in the chat, one request is there for families of younger members. It will be very beneficial. However, some very senior members may require financial assistance, or there may be some disability due to accident or illness. Such members should receive the fund early. ISA FBF should make provision for such needy members. What is your say on this, ma'am?
Sujata madam or me?
Sangeeta madam, or
Sangeeta madam.
anyone
Sorry,
can.
Sangeeta.
Yeah, Manisha madam, you can go ahead. No issue.
See, that is in fact a very good suggestion, in fact. But the problem is this needs again a big amendment. Like this has to be raised. It's a good suggestion, in fact, I can say, because this needs a lot of work also. Because whatever is at the moment, it is the help will be given after the death of the anesthesiologist, and it is family benevolent fund. So it is given to the family. So the total concept of the particular question is different. It is a good suggestion, I can say, because many senior anesthesiologists are they might need the help when they fell ill or in emergency situations. But then this will become like an insurance scheme. The total concept or the total motto of family benevolent fund is different. So if we want to have this as insurance schemes, then like in need, if we want that money for ourselves, then that motto or that aim is not there at the moment of family benevolent fund. So if we really want to have such kind of thing, then major things have to be discussed in the governing council meeting, or an amendment has to be made. But I don't think that will be accepted at the moment, because whatever rules and regulations family benevolent fund constitution is formed, that is not, this kind of request will not be included in that. There is a special constitution. There is a special constitution of family benevolent fund which is there on the website of family benevolent. So anyone can go through that.
Yes,
This
it
is
is
separate from the ISA constitution.
Yeah, and it is registered under the charitable society. Yeah, ISA FBF fund is registered separately.
Madam, one request in the chat box is there. If possible, please share the today's PPT so that we can circulate in local branch WhatsApp groups for propagation.
Sure. It
Dr.
will be done.
Prahlad has told this.
Yeah, it will be done.
Okay, madam. Seema, पुढचं चालू करूया ना? Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Leela, you can go ahead. Yeah.
Yes.
Now I request our senior anesthesiologist, a very cooperative and a very good singer and very best friend of mine, Dr. Uma Deshmukh madam, for the further session like private practitioners concern and solution. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Nilavati. Very good evening to everybody. Very warm welcome to SAPC webinar. Well, we are about to enter a very turbulent area now. So tie your seat belts and sit tight. Today, we wish to discuss a very important non-academic topic very close to our hearts. Out of the two choices we have when we pass out, one is to take up a job in some institute or start a private practice. When we accept a job, things are a little simpler in the sense we automatically accept to follow the rules and methods set up by the employer. But when we opt to become a private practitioner, we need to set up our own rules, methods, and everything. And obviously, there are differences. In either case, the basic aim is financial stability and job satisfaction. There is a lot of unhappiness felt around when we talk to each other about practice. The situation has definitely improved a lot than the times when I started practice about 35 years ago. But the exploitation and the unrest continues. So taking advantage of the facility of improved communication, we decided to address a few issues today. To guide us and help us out of our problems, we have this dedicated group of our senior people with us today who have been already introduced by Maya Madam, Dr. Manisha Katikar, Dr. Milind Pol, and Dr. Hitendra Mahaji. I would like to specially thank Dr. Mrs. Manisha Katikar for being with us today evening. Despite being her wedding anniversary, when she should have been enjoying a candlelight dinner with her husband, she is with us and wants to guide us. Very welcome, madam. So, if I need to speak about their achievements, there will be no time left for question answers. So, shall we start with our first question right away? Our first question is about, I would address this question to Dr. Mahajan. Handing over a long case to a colleague, followed by a major intraoperative event later. What are the legal implications, whether it should be done and how it should be handled?
There is a handing over of the case. Now, handing over of the case to another anesthesiologist, in this the question is little incomplete. Means handing over means you are giving the responsibility to someone else and you are leaving the case.
Yes, you are giving responsibility and you are leaving.
Yeah. So legal implication is to both of them. The person who is handing over and the person who is taking the case to carry forward. Now we have to think legally, ethically, and morally when there is a circumstances of handing over. Now leave apart in an institute where there is a team who is approaching the case, but in a private practice, just given a scenario, You are having your individual anesthesiologist going and developing a contract with the patient to deliver services for that particular operations as an anesthesiologist. In that scenario, if you want to leave halfway, it should be justifiable that why you are leaving halfway. Legally, though, implication is for both the person, but then as the contract has been done by a first person with the patient and his relatives in a consent form, it will be definitely expected that there has to be a genuine reason for that first anesthesiologist to leave the case. It cannot be for like, I want to do another case or induce another case. No. Medically or on some ground where you can prove to the court of law that I was not able to provide the service which are expected by a patient in a safe manner, and that's why I had handed over. It's okay. In that case, at least ethically and morally, court will accept your argument. But just for the sake of inducing another case and going ahead, I don't think any judge will accept that argument. So
at times there are cases which go on for a prolonged period of time, like 12 and 15 hours. Like we used to have those kind of cases in riots and all those things. But about those? Yeah.
Exactly. So in that case, you are leaving the case and it is justifiable, because anyway, after a certain time, even court will accept that you may get tired and you may not be able to provide those services. So legal implication remains to both the anesthesiologist first as well as the second anesthesiologist who comes on paper to continue with the anesthesia.
Yeah, and I had read about certain legal guidelines about handing over such a case. Are there any legal guidelines about that?
Legal guidelines means you have to mention it. Ideally, you should take a consent. You should inform it to the relatives of the patient that such and such is the scenario. And that's why another of my colleague who is equally capable is taking over the case. And you should take this consent on a consent paper. That will definitely help you. And that is what guidelines says.
Okay, thank you, sir. If that mishap or whatever has happened in the second anesthetist time period, say, after he has taken over, still the first anesthetist remains equally responsible. Is that so?
Yes, both the anesthesiologists for the case remains equally responsible, because court of the law doesn't differentiate like this. They are, whenever it comes in the defense, it comes as a patient in total. So it is not only both the anesthesiologists, it's the entire team who is defending. So here you cannot differentiate like this, that, oh, I had handed over till that time, everything was fine. Because maybe there are certain things which had happened previously. So both, it will be in that scenario, it will be always better that both the anesthesiologists put up the case and defend in a court of law, which will have some reasonable standing in a court of law.
Thank you, sir. As it stands, I feel that unless, as sir said, unless it's absolutely necessary, we should not give cases over to each other. In very special circumstances, with all the paperwork, maybe you will be able to do it, but it's always best to finish your own case. Yes, Madam Katikar wants to add something to it.
Yeah,
Please,
I just want to add, absolutely agree with what Hitendra sir is saying. I just want to add something, like even if the case goes on for a prolonged period, the surgical team is there, still working. The operation theater assistant staff is still there, they are working. So if you are really tired, then of course you can call always for help of your friend, colleague anesthesiologist, or at the same time you can continue in the operation theater along with him. That will be better, because if there are legal implications, then you will be also held responsible. So my suggestion will be, rather than leaving the case, call for help. Let your colleague anesthesiologist will be there with you for helping you, and complete both the case, as you are physically tired to continue as a single anesthesiologist. That is what my suggestion for the above problem.
That was a very great suggestion, because in such prolonged cases, we should always take help, so that because we have to be vigilant all the time. Yes, Paul sir wants to say something about it.
Yeah, in Ludhiana conference, I had presented a talk on fatigue anesthesiologist, does it add to the negligence? And there it was clearly stated that a court of law does not accept fatigue. You have to be very vigilant. And as Hitendra sir told that even if you leave the case, the moral responsibility as well as the legal responsibility is on yourself only. And the team which is joining next, equally responsible, but you should be also available, as Madam said, that you should be available for discussion, whatever happened in your in your period of operation period of time, and what the next team is. They may have these complications throughout the surgery.
Yeah, in a
Yes,
simple
that's right.
word, in a
That makes
nutshell.
it very clear.
Yeah,
That
in a
makes it very
simple word,
clear
in a
what should be done
nutshell.
in such situations. The
Yeah,
next question
exactly.
is to Dr. Kaur. So in such scenarios, if in private practice one person lands up with certain problem, then with all the legal implications which are attached to it, should I go and help my colleague, and what will be the legal implications about, say somebody calls me for help and there is a cardiac arrest on table? How this situation should be handled?
Actually, if your colleague asks for your help, it is only in two scenarios in private practice, because in private practice there is no expert available as your knowledge and your expertise. So your colleague will ask your help only in two situations: when there is a technical failure, that means there is failure of spinal or intubation failure and all that, and second is more grievous, that is death on table or cardiac arrest on table. So he will summon for the help. So if such call is received, I think it is your moral responsibility as an anesthesiologist. You should go immediately to help your colleague. If it is not possible to leave your case, then you arrange for somebody else, or say him that he will be available, or other fellow will be available. But don't let this call go like that, because it is a the legal part comes later on. What you are fearing is there are legal implications. So why should I go to help my colleague? I'll just say, why not? I should go for to help my colleague, because he is in dire emergency situation. And when any anesthesiologist goes in such situation, actually there is a mental block. Though he is expert, he is doing all these things day in and day out. There is a mental block at that situation, and he needs some expert, the same expert. There are surgeons around, but they are not expert in anesthesiology, or they are not expert in critical thinking. They are not expert
Yes.
in decision making. So what they will do, they will help whatever you say. So you being the captain of the ship at that time, you should handle the situation. But if you are not in a position to handle the situation, I think you should call somebody, and whoever receives the call, he should go immediately. Because what I'll say, in such a situation, out of box thinking can help in many
Yes, and
situations
a
like this.
support is always welcome in these situations
Yeah,
when you
legal
might be
implications
thinking in
are
one particular line and the other person can find out other reason.
yes,
And
yes.
plus, we are all anesthetists practicing. So today my colleague is in trouble. Tomorrow I
Yeah,
myself might be in trouble. So
everybody can have this
yes, so everybody is
any.
vulnerable and we should go and
There is a
help.
dictum in anesthesiology that if somebody says that I have not faced any death on table in my practice, either he is lying or he has not done practice.
That's
So
right, sir.
so this situation comes to everybody's tenure, everybody's period of anesthesia life. So they
Okay.
have to face this situation. So
So we must help our colleagues as
yeah,
and when required.
definitely legal
Okay.
implications come afterwards. So you should
Okay.
not think.
Okay. Let us go to our next question. Like these days, the complexities of cases have been increasing, and with increasing availability of good equipment and newer drugs, people are doing more and more complicated and difficult cases in private practice scenarios also. So when I come up with such a situation, and I feel that I need two anesthesiologists for this case, and how should I put it in front of the surgeon? How should I convince? I would like to have opinions from Dr. Kaur as well as Dr. Katikar on this question, please.
Yeah, I'll start with this. Actually, every theater in a private practice has certain things which are particular about that setup. So what we say that this setup is for these surgeries only. It is not meant for these high-end surgeries or tertiary care surgeries and all that. So you should first judge what your setup is. And if certain case is not fitting in your setup, or you require certain help from anesthesia point of view, considering the comorbidities of the patient, you should not hesitate to talk with the surgeon. Actually, here I think many anesthesiologists think only in the point of remuneration, because whatever remuneration he is getting from the that case, he is thinking in that point, and that's why he is avoiding to call anybody else so that this will be shared, because the surgeon is not going to add any more remuneration for that. That's why he is hesitating to talk with the surgeon about second
Yes.
anesthesiologist. But then I'll just say that this will increase your stress during the case, because the
So
patient
how
have
should it be
comorbidity.
put to the surgeon? Like how do you convince the surgeon that
Actually,
this merits the attention of two people?
yeah, you should straight away talk with the surgeon that you have certain cases where you require surgical expertise. You call somebody else for the surgery,
That's
like
right.
laparoscopy surgery, urological surgeries, and
Yes.
all that. So you need help. That's the same thing is here also. I need help of expert like me in this situation. So I'll call somebody for my help.
Okay.
We will discuss the charges.
Okay. Later. Like.
Huh,
Yeah.
because it should not add to my stress if I am doing it alone.
Okay. Okay. Can Katikar madam add something to it?
Yeah, as sir said correctly, the stress of doing a case single-handedly is definitely going to kill the anesthesiologist. Is going to develop all problems, morbidities that is associated with that case. So it is always better to call for help. The question is how to convince the
Convince the
surgeon
surgeon.
about that. So that is the most important question. The first and foremost skill is communication. Communication with the surgical team is the most important thing in such kind of situations. Like I would say, for every case, why we should not discuss the plan of anesthesia with surgical team? Like whenever we get a call and if we see a patient preoperatively on the previous evening, why not meet the surgeon in his OPD, talk to him regarding the case, talk to him regarding the position, talk to him regarding the number of hours that will be required for that particular case, and at the same time tell him that this is a complex case. I might need help of one of my colleague. So usually there is always two anesthesiologists attached to an surgical institute, surgical nursing home also. So a person who is used to it, who comes for the cases in that particular hospital or nursing home in your absenteeism, that person can be called for help. And as sir said correctly, poor sir, you should not burden the patient or the surgeon for the remuneration, because the help is needed for anesthesia services. If you are able to get more amount, equal amount for that particular case, it's well and good. But that should not be the prime motto of inviting the another anesthesiologist and asking for more charges. It is always better to discuss with the surgeon and also with the patient. You should always introduce to the patient that we are the two people who will be giving anesthesia, because this patient has particular problems. So I'm also inviting one of my colleagues who is senior, who is equally competent as what I am for your case, because you need more attention. And that is why we are here, two anesthesiologists giving anesthesia to you. At the same time, if you if you communicate with patient as well as surgeon every time, not for a particular case, every time, it becomes very easy for you
Yes.
to discuss that case even with the surgeon. So
Okay.
communication is the best policy.
Yeah. Mahajan sir wanted to add something to it, I think.
It's a very simple, madam. I will not find any surgeon, because as we, even surgeon are equally concerned about the safety of the patient. That is he's in fact he's more concerned because there is so much of at stake for him. So just as Madam said, communicate with him that this is the case where two expertise are required. Well, he'll be more than willing to. So convincing is not a very difficult part to either a surgeon or to the relatives as well. And as far as remuneration is concerned, we can just take them in a confidence. It is not like it's not a basic thing.
Okay, thanks for that. My next question again, I think all three panelists would have something to add, because this is a newer issue which is coming up, that how should we deal with the unreasonable professional charges on the pretext of various schemes that have come up or insurance policies. Like surgeons would say that no, these charges are not possible because the patient belongs to a certain scheme or his insurance doesn't permit it. So how should we deal with it? We can start from Katikar, madam. I would like to have opinions from everybody about it.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you, because so many times it is you do not get adequately paid for a particular case because that scheme falls into certain schemes like Rashtriya, like this Rajiv Gandhi Yojana, Mahatma Phule Yojana in Maharashtra. Like in Solapur, we have Bajpayee Yojana. So the surgical, even the surgical nursing home is getting very less charges in that. Even the surgeon is earning very less charges. But then again, it is a teamwork. Like if you are attached to an institute for years together, and if you are happy about remuneration for another case, for few other cases where they do not fall under schemes, then of course it is well and good, because everyone is doing some kind of charity. The surgeon is also doing some kind of charity. So why not anesthesiologist? So that is also that should be a thinking. Like the anesthesiologist should be thinking from that point of view for such kind of schemes where the payment is not sufficient. And of course, there are certain insurance schemes, because we are not only talking about the schemes which are paying less amount. There are certain schemes that has like the state government schemes or other schemes where you are adequately paid, or in fact paid more than what you are expecting for that particular case, provided your surgeon is paying you the handsome amount which he is getting for anesthesia charges. So if such kind of scenario is there with your surgical colleague, then I don't think that some kind of charity work can be done for him, the low paying schemes.
Yes, and it does develop over years. I mean, if you are working for quite a few years together, I don't think the surgeons are out to take undue advantage in that particular case. So, what does Dr. Paul and Dr. Mahajan have to say about this?
Yeah, actually, it is right. Katikar madam has said that in certain cases, when they are patients under schemes, you have to take lesser charges, because whatever amount they are getting, they will share certain amount of that as anesthesia charges. But then you should also make the surgeon aware that if you are doing certain cases in such category, the rest of the cases which are paying, they should give some extra amount as anesthesia charges.
That's a good suggestion, sir, that we should communicate with the surgeon about this too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely.
What does Dr. Mahajan has any suggestions about it? Dr. Sare, sir?
Yeah, actually, since 1990, when I was purely in the private practice, we used to do whenever there used to be a complicated case, provided your pre-operative evaluation has to be very, very good. If that is there and you find something is there in that particular patient, then you have to discuss the case with the surgeon. Sometimes or many times surgeon may also require the help, and they call the surgeons. Like that, we also call for the help to our colleagues, either senior or junior, whatever it may be. But as far as my experience is concerned, it has never come across any remuneration of the charges, and we have done hundreds of cases like that. Okay. I have never come across. Surgeon, they do agree. But your evaluation and discussion with the surgeon about that is very important.
Okay, let us move on to our next question, sir. Next question is to Dr. Mahajan. There are different charges taken by different anesthetists for the same kind of cases at different places. So is uniformity in anesthesia charges really and practically possible? to Dr. Mahajan?
If you ask me frankly, practically it is not possible, because charges itself of any medical field doesn't fit into any financial rule. Okay, first of all, we should understand that. Second thing is, there is nothing like we can, as an association, as a society, we can set a standard minimum set charges which a person should take, provided that is with the intention of avoiding the exploitation. But then everyone has to decide about that, how much charges he or that particular person will take from that particular institute. It is going to vary, because it applies to not only anesthesia charges, it applies to surgical charges, hospital charges, everywhere. So I will not say that it is not even related with the seniority or juniority, but it is related with that particular patient, which category he belongs to, which hospital he is undergoing operation. And so depending on this scenario, one can charge that particular patient. It may happen at it may happen that for seniors it becomes little easier to command and demand the charges and get. So that comes with the seniority, but that is not that cannot be a rule. Even a junior person is taking the same risk, delivering the same services, and he can also demand charges. So though you cannot bring the uniformity on an above level, but certainly as an association, if we stay together, we can at least decide a minimum basic standard where we can, with the intention of avoiding the exploitation.
Yes, I think I suppose every branch must be having its own minimum charges list, like we in SAPC also do have, and we try to update it and give it to all the concerned surgeons. So
Exactly.
as you say, that should bring some kind of, does Dr. Paul want to add something?
Yeah, actually, the issue of charges is never ending, because every time this issue comes, there are some black sheeps in anesthesiology as well as in surgery. Some surgeons are not, not giving charges properly. That is the thing every anesthesiologist complains. But what I will say that this is the actually the anesthesiologist who are going there, or the anesthesiologists who are taking less charges. It is a mental, what you can say is a mental stigma of that anesthesiologist, that if I take less charges, I will get more cases and all that. I think they are self-exploiting themselves.
Yeah, sir, Dr. Kaur, sir, I will add the next question to you, which is something similar to it. So you can merge both the answers. Like it has been found that a few private practitioner anesthesiologists are leaving the cases nearing the end of surgery before closure. And they say that I have left because the patient is stable, or you took longer time and my next case time is approaching and I have to leave for whatever reasons. And in that case, those surgeons have been giving them charges which are lesser than whatever were promised. And what do you have to say about this kind of practice, and how to go about it?
Even in Ahmednagar, we are facing these same situations. When there is a issue of raising the charges, every 2 yearly we are raising the charges, anesthesia charges. And when we approach all the associations for revision of charges, they say that there are some anesthesiologists are leaving the cases early. So we clearly state that this is not allowed at all. There should be a common consensus of the surgeon and anesthesiologist when to leave the case. If the surgeon permits, okay, you can go now, then only the anesthesiologist should leave the operation theatre. We are straight away saying the surgeons that if certain anesthesiologist is repeatedly doing this, even after giving warning, you don't call him. There are many anesthesiologists. Again, the same situation. Some surgeons are denying the charges because you are leaving early. Again, I will say to the anesthesiologist, if the surgeon is after the general consensus of the surgeon and anesthesiologist, if the anesthesiologists are leaving the case for the next case, and the surgeon is again saying that you are leaving the case early, then the surgeon should be banned. It is a teamwork. It is a teamwork. That
Do you
doesn't
think,
mean
sir,
that.
sir, do you think this kind of a practice is derogatory to our own branch itself? That we are, I mean, we are under-evaluating our own self-importance by saying that nothing is going to happen. We know that anything can happen till the last stitch, and the dressing and shifting itself is a critical event. And our own people doing this while we are thinking of becoming perioperative physicians, this is 2-3 steps back of being an anesthetist also. So what do you think? I mean, I don't think even if the surgeon permits that we should be leaving a patient unsafe without shifting to recovery or safer place.
Actually, what I'll say that every anesthesiologist should plan their cases with adequate gap in between. They should not overlap the gaps, the cases. There are certain anesthesiologists who are freelancers. They take every case, whatever coming to them. So that time, what happens? The first case, they think that it will end by 8. The next case is scheduled as 8:10, and the first case goes for 8:30. Now they start thinking that I'll lose the case, but then it is your moral responsibility, as Hitendra sir and I said in the first question, that it is your moral responsibility to you have signed that consent that I will be available for this anesthesia, for your anesthesia. So it is your moral responsibility, and the signature you have done for this patient, it is the first right is of that patient which is undergoing the surgery. The next patient is not at all important for you. That first thing you should understand as an anesthesiologist. There should be adequate spacing. Even after that spacing, the cases are getting overlapped. You give these cases to some other fellow colleagues. You should not leave the first case.
I'll just add into this that, look, charges is a different issue. Anesthesia is a different issue. Anesthesia is not something which you can correlate with, okay, I'm getting less charges, so I'll give only this much more. As an anesthesia, it's your responsibility right from pre-op to the patient goes to the recovery room. It is your responsibility. And if you behave like that, you will get a respect, dignity, and accordingly, and then automatically charges will also flow. But if you say that because I'm leaving, I should get less, or I'm accepting that, and that is not something good practice which any anesthesiologist should propagate, or he himself should instigate it.
Okay. My next question is to Dr. Manisha Katikar. Can we get rid of the percentage of surgeons' fees given as our fees kind of a system for a better and dignified one? Madam has to unmute.
Yeah, absolutely agree with you, madam. Even I am dreaming for that day, and I don't think that this day is not far off, because our specialty is a separate specialty, as Mahajan sir said correctly, right from pre-anesthesia checkup to the planning of anesthesia, managing the case in the OR, shifting the patient, and then taking care of post-operative pain. These are the parts of our services that has been provided to the patient. So, of course, being a separate specialty, our specialty should get remuneration as per the skills which we are devoting for that particular case. And we should not get the cases, the payment as per the percentage, like 20%, 30% payment for that particular case from the surgical charges. It is not very difficult to get it. For that, again, the anesthesiologist, or in fact, I would say not only anesthesiologists, the Society of Anesthesiologists, Indian Society of Anesthesiologists together can get united for such kind of cause for our own specialty. And it is not very difficult if we all unite together. It is not very difficult at all that we will get charges like this for our specialty also. Recently, as a part of Private Practitioners Forum at the National ISA, we had meeting with all the state president and secretaries, had meeting with national president and national secretary. And this point was discussed that time, and it was decided that anesthesiologists should get remuneration. Of course, that should be a range for that particular case and specialty, and it should not depend upon the charges of as percentage of for that particular surgical case or the surgeon's charges. So I must say that since even at national ISA such attempts are being done, even Dr. Paul had joined that meeting. So maybe in next few months we will be able to get such kind of charges which has been discussed and decided by that particular ISCT branch. So depending upon the specialty, the kind of practice the anesthesiologist is doing and the place, whether he's practicing in corporate or in practicing in city or village, depending upon that situation, we all will start getting the charges. And I think that day is not far off.
Yeah, that's a great news actually, because we have faced, all of us have faced such situations like a huge obese patient, hypertensive diabetic patient with a parotid abscess. Now, this case is more challenging for an anesthesiologist than a surgeon always. And at such points, we really feel little defeated on having that 20 and 30%. I think this dates back to when anesthesia was not fully developed branch, and the surgeons used to give maybe in very early 1900s. Or Madam wants to say something?
Yeah, I just want to add something to it. As you said correctly, a patient coming for abscess, gluteal abscess, iron, incision and drainage, a diabetic patient who is obese, hypothyroid, and coming for IND, the anesthesia charges, like if the surgeon is putting charges as 2000, and if the anesthesiologist is getting charges as 500, it is definitely not justifiable. So certain situations are there where the anesthesiologist should get, in fact, the same amount as what surgeon is earning. And in fact, I can say even of the more amount if the anesthesiologist is able to discuss it properly with surgeon, discuss it properly with the patient and the risk involved. And of course, as Dr. Sayas have said correctly, our duty begins from perioperative preparation for that particular case, right from our pre-op visit to the patient. So if we are correct, doing everything on our part, then of course we are in a position to ask for more charges in for that particular patient.
Paul sir wanted to add something to it.
Actually, many city branches have their own charges list. You may be aware that Nashik, Ahmednagar, anybody, they have their own charges list, and that list does not depend on the charges of percentage charges of the surgeon. So surgeon, whatever he wants to take, whatever he or she wants to take, but these are the minimum charges which are to be paid to the anesthesiologist. What you are saying that it should be percentage, I don't agree upon that. Yeah, okay. Certain situations are there that nowadays what is happening that when we are revising our charges, the other associations are revising their charges. It is vice versa. It is a good thing. Yeah, it is a good thing that when we revise our charges as anesthesiologists, the surgeon association and gynec association, they revise their charges because they think that we should not give more than 10% to the anesthesiologist. But our charges are totally different from their charges.
Okay, that's their issue, sir.
Yeah, so what else they want to, that is okay.
Okay. For the lack of time, let me please move on to the next question. It is to Dr. Mahajan. It's difficult for us to get name, fame, and money as our counterparts. So at times our colleagues feel that, have I made a mistake by becoming an anesthesiologist? What are your views, sir, on that?
I don't agree with that. When you see what exactly is the name, fame, and recognition, it is directly proportional to your exposure. So if you are exposing yourself, exposing in the sense, see, for all these things, you need to devote a time. They're not going to come to you free. You'll have to go 10 minutes prior. You'll have to talk with the patient. You'll have to talk with the relatives. You'll have to, then again, you have to give the anesthesia. After anesthesia also, you need to expose yourself. More is the exposure, more will be the recognition. But if our colleague, if we don't want to do that, then we cannot expect a recognition from that point of view. It directly correlates with how we present ourselves. First of all, we need to respect our own faculty. We need to think that, yes, proud about our faculty. Yes, I am a proud anesthesiologist. When we say like this 10 times, it reflects from our body. The way you go and interact with not only surgical part, but patient, their relatives, the way you present yourself, definitely it gets reflected. And I think if we are ready to put that much efforts, no one can stop recognition and everything coming to us. See, even anesthesiologist like Tambe sir has received Padma Shri. So it is not like anesthesia and recognition cannot come. There is something which we had ourselves put into that thought process. So first of all, we need to come out of it. We need to develop our own thought process which will make us feel proud. And if we are ready to put 2 steps more, I don't think the recognition and all these things are like not meant for anesthesia. Definitely even anesthesiologists can get them.
I fully agree with you, sir. And primarily, I think we need to understand that our primary clientele is surgeons and not patients directly, because patients do not come to anesthesiologists. They will go to surgeons, and surgeons are calling us. So primarily, our clientele is surgeons. And as you say, if we believe in ourselves and in our branch, we will definitely be able to make a mark.
I do agree. See, patient comes to surgeon, but who has stopped you to go to and visit the patient after the operation?
Yes,
no one
sir.
has stopped. We can always give one visit and ask, how are you? Is there a pain? Is there something which I can add, one tablet or something like that? If you involve yourself, that will increase the exposure. That will, in the beginning, it may not come in the form of remuneration, but definitely it can come in the form of recognition. It can come to us in the form of a goodwill, and definitely even that surgeon. And next time, this is, it is a relation which gets on build up on small things. If we try to put it in the only form of finances, then definitely recognition and respect will not come.
Yes, this discussion has suddenly put my memory on rail, and I somehow remember one funny incident when surgeons used to, in very beginning, maybe I'm talking about a period about 20 years ago, when surgeons used to listen to what I am talking to a pre-operative patient, and they were very skeptical about it. And one of my same age gynecologist had told me, she said, see, you see so many gynecologists operating. I'm scared that you might suggest a better gynecologist to my patient. That is why I'm not calling you for pre-op. I don't know how many people have faced such a situation, but she was a very straightforward, clear-cut lady, and she confided into me that you are working with better surgeons, and I'm worried that you might suggest a better surgeon to my patient. So anyway, I think Mahajan sir has covered almost the next question also, that given the short time we spend with our patients and surgeons, how to build confidence and create respect and identity. I would like to have some inputs from Dr. Manisha Katikar on this also.
I would like to answer this question only in one line. Better communication. In fact, the communication in the pre-operative period, in the OR, before inducing the patient or before giving regional anesthesia, at the end of the surgery, accompanying the patient till end in the recovery room, and then giving visits to the patient, because you are visiting the same hospital every day. So why not to say hi, hello to that patient while going out of that hospital? So communication with the patient is always necessary in such kind of situation.
Just
and I
one
think
thing,
many of us.
Just one thing I would like to add, that be presentable. See, in this world, presentation matters a lot. Why anesthesiologists should go as a wearing shabby shirt, shabby pant, all these things? They can be also good. They should think about themselves. Yes, I am a important person. I am this thing. So you be presentable. You go to the patient in a presentable manner. You present yourself, your confidence, everything. It will definitely get picked up.
Yes, sir.
And another thing about is that, like, whenever you find that patient is having a high risk, don't put the responsibility of informing to the patient and the relatives about the risks that are involved in the surgical situation, surgical case. It is always you who are going to give anesthesia, and it is always you who should explain to the patient regarding the risk that has been involved in the anesthesia for that particular patient. So because, see, we give importance to the consent of the patient. So we may not discuss everything with the patient, but we need to discuss the small things that are necessary in the care of that particular patient with the relatives. And we should comfortably sit in one of the rooms, consulting rooms of that particular nursing home, invite the relatives to that particular room, discuss everything about that case. And if you start doing such kind of practice, even the surgeon will be happy with you that you are taking the responsibility, or in fact shouldering the, as we said, it is a teamwork. So we should also shoulder the responsibility of discussing the risk that has been involved with the anesthesia with that particular patient. So if we do such kind of practice, then I don't think it will be difficult for us to get recognition in front of the patient's relatives as well as patient.
I fully agree with that, madam, that we had to make a few efforts to put this across, because when we asked for preoperative anesthesia consultation visits, we were told that how many times the patient can come to hospital. Then we had to tell them that if the patient can come for a scan, patient can go for a USG, patient can go simply for giving a sample of postprandial blood sugar to the hospital. Is the visit to an anesthesiologist of less importance than this? When it was put across like this, we got a better result, and we do get to see the patients preoperatively. So at times we have to put our foot down and make the point. So next question is to Dr. Mahajan, that I like to travel, I wish to travel, but there is a constant fear that I may lose the workplace, or I don't have a paid leave. So what happens to, I mean, I'm hesitant to take a holiday. So what would you say about that?
It's very simple. One word I like to tell: nothing comes free. Nothing will come free to you in this life, including happiness. So if you want to travel, it will be at the cost of losing your practice. Now, second part, you said about losing the work. Yes, insecurity is there. Who is secured in this world? No one is secured. If I am insecure about next call, it applies to everyone. But then that doesn't mean that I should stop my living. First of all, I should be pretty clear that I am on this earth as an anesthesiologist, only as a profession. There is a beyond. My life has got more facet to it than that. If I am not fulfilling those facets of my life, if I am not living the way I should live in that life, even I'll not be able to justify my role as an anesthesiologist in my professional career. So it may happen that I had gone through it. It happens that, okay, because of your traveling, you may lose some work, you may lose some contact, some hospital, but at the same time, it opens up for another person or another hospital who likes you like that, who likes your this thing. So like-minded people automatically come together, never have a fear of that losing, because that loss is a temporary. But if you try to avoid that, I had seen people who had never stepped out of their cities for last 30 years, but at the same time, their surgeon, every year they had gone for a vacation, they had gone for conferences, they had gone. But then at the end, there is no point in regretting. So live the way you want. Automatically, everything will adjust. Profession is a part of our life. It is not our complete life. So what I'll just say in one word that don't be that insecure. Change is the only thing which is constant in our life. So never hesitate to change. Change your hospital will change, better will come. Why you are under fear that, okay, I lose this, so what will happen? No, everything happens for a good. If you have that thought process, you'll come out of the stress, what is brought by this feeling, and just live your life.
Okay, Dr. Poro wants to add something to it.
Yeah, actually, when I was talking with my surgeon some years back, that these are the insecurities in our colleagues and all that. He said, sir, in my hospital, all surgeries are not done by me. So there are some others are involved. So you also think like that. So all surgeries doing whatever surgeries are happening in your first on-call hospital, you should say that okay, these surgeries are not for me. गीता सर क्या बोलता है, परिवर्तन संसार का नियम है, जो भी होने वाला है. अगर एज हितेंद्र सेड राइटली सेड कि अगर एक अटैचमेंट गया, द वन अटैचमेंट यू लूजेस, द नेक्स्ट avenues will be open for you. So whatever you want, all three of us panelists, we have taken the highest post in MSc ISA. We are traveling for that many times. I think only because of COVID it is restricted now. Otherwise, every monthly we are traveling 2-3 times in different city branches, national conferences, our state conference, and everywhere. So if we fear that our attachments will be gone like this if we do on that, so it
That's
is,
right, sir.
yeah. So we have to think somewhere
Okay.
in our life that
Yeah.
I have some other priorities also
Okay.
than
Moving.
anesthesiology.
Okay, sir. Can we move on to the next question to Dr. Katikar, madam? How far it is justifiable to do other kind of work in the OT, say after induction? This complaint frequently comes from the surgeon that we are scared that the anesthetist is not attentive enough and doing something on the mobile phone constantly. So what will you say about that?
Yeah. Absolutely true what madam you are saying. See, when we are giving anesthesia at the time of induction, if we get some noise from surgical side, like some talks or some discussion, some mobile phones ringing, we get disturbed. So when surgeons are operating after induction, if we are relaxed or after giving regional anesthesia, if we find our patient is relaxed and we are on our mobiles, the surgeons definitely will not like that, because their attention is always with the patient, and they want your attention also, that you should also monitor the patient properly and you should not neglect the patient while monitoring the particular situation. So it is always not advisable to do any other work in the operation theater after inducing the case. And if you are doing something very important that is needed at that time, see to it that your surgeon is not getting distracted by what you are doing. You should be vigilant enough. Like if you are doing something, you should be vigilant enough. You should be attentive to the patient as well as to the monitoring the patient, as well as to the surgeon also whenever he asks for your help. So that kind of practice should be always there. And it is ideally I would say, because before the mobile era, whenever we were anesthetizing the cases, whenever we had even only a pager, we were not engrossed with all such kind of activities in the OR. Our hand used to be on the pulse many a times that time, because even though monitors were available, we were still in the practice of putting a hand on the pulse all the time. And because in this mobile era, the situation has changed because of the social medias. There are so many things that is keeping us engrossed other than our anesthesia practice. So, but it is always better to avoid any distraction when we are in the OR. We must concentrate whatever is going on in the theater at that moment.
Madam, we had heard about some mishap that had happened, and the anesthesiologist's phone records were had been gone through by the court, and it was found that is it true? And can such thing happen? I mean, shall we guard ourselves for this reason too?
Yes, madam. Like madam, many of the now it is not at all difficult for the patient's relative to have our mobile numbers. Like, and if they see us, it is not difficult also for them to see that whether we are online or not. That is easily seen. So even such case, the negligence cases has come forward for this issue also, that somebody was online at that moment and some negligence happened. So we have to be very, very careful. It is always better not to have you to do whatever work is possible. If it is needed, it is urgent, and that should not be. You should not be online on social media at that time, because it can be easily captured.
Right. Yes. Okay. Thank you. Next question goes to Dr. Kaur. The hospital where you are working or other hospitals are asking you for investments or deposits to get the hospital work as a priority. So, what should guide you and what should be the decisive factor about this?
Actually, this is a mutual understanding between the surgeons and anesthesiologists. If they have started their practice together and they have developed themselves for 10 to 15 years togetherness, and then the surgeon asks that you invest something in my hospital. So it is a mutual understanding. It is the same liking of both surgeon and anesthesiologist. That then it's okay. Yes, if you have trust on your surgeon, then it's okay. It is good to have investment in that hospital. But a new surgeon who is not very well known to you, or the new team nowadays. 4 5 surgeons or gynecologists, they come together and have start a hospital, and then they one fine morning they will ask some anesthesiologist to have investment in as a share taker in that hospital. But then if you have agreed about the terms and conditions, and if you think that these people are trustworthy, then only you invest. Otherwise, what we are discussing is our remuneration is always less than these people. Okay, so if you want to invest your whatever you earn money, it should not be like that. After 2 3 years, they will turn around and you will lose your money. So it is always at the stake. Only thing, your mutual understanding with the counterpart, that is surgeons or whoever they across the table, and the terms and conditions which are agreed upon by both of them, then it's okay. You can have investment in that hospital, because it is what I'll say, it is a sure shot income, and it is actually agreed upon by both. That
Yes,
I
sir.
will
And
give.
in that case, I think if you have invested in something like any other investment, you should be getting not only priority for the cases,
Yeah,
but you should get hospital profit shares also accordingly. Is that so?
Actually, the hospital demands the anesthesiologist to invest only when they say that these anesthesiologist is a trustworthy anesthesiologist, and we require his surgical services 24/7. Then only they will ask you to invest in that particular setup, because then you have a surety that I will get minimum 4 5 calls in this from this hospital in 24 hours, and my the fixed hours which I can dedicate to this particular hospital, that will, I will be engaged for this much of period. Because in private practice you are more fearing to be vacant. You are holidays. That means you are present in that city, but you don't have any call. That is more fearing situation to any of the anesthesiologists. That's why if you get a sure shot income from a sure shot hospital, then it's okay. You can invest, but that should be again. It is after thinking about whatever the terms and conditions.
And actually, that depends on varied circumstances and the people you are dealing with, how much confidence you have in them, and so many other factors
Yeah,
also.
in a simple
Like,
word,
it is a kind of a business.
in a simple word,
Yes.
just be a financially literate. See
Yeah.
whether it is going to get benefit as you are investing in any other investment. And if it is benefiting you, go ahead and invest. If it's not benefiting you, why you want to invest?
Yeah.
Yes.
I can see that.
And it is always better. And it is always better to make a contract, to have a contract of that. It should not be only verbal contract. There should be a proper contract about your investment and whatever the surgeons is promising you for that.
And even after you don't invest in that hospital, if the surgeon have trust on you, you will get the call from that hospital. It is not needed that you will invest in that hospital. That is
Yeah,
also
but the
true.
investment will make it sure for you that you will be a part of the thing. I
So,
can see that there are people raising their hands and they will be given a chance at the end. You know, we are almost coming to the end of the session. Another one question and then I'll request Dr. Seema Suryavanshi to hand over the questions and okay, so let's, looking at the time, let's move on to the last question to Dr. Manisha Katikar. Why should we join ISA, local ISA branches and participate in their activities? What benefit will it give me because I'm just a private practitioner?
I think the answer is here in front of you. We three anesthesiologists, the president and the past presidents of ISA, all are private practitioners. And in this ISA activities from almost more than 15 years. And what we have not got up till now, we got everything by doing ISA work. So I would like to suggest to every one of you, each one has some kind of talent. And ISA activities give you opportunity to prove your talents. Someone and the leadership qualities are always nurtured. No one can become leader in a single day. You have to develop your leadership qualities by working at ground root first, at the ground level first. So you have to work at your city branch as maybe a joint secretary, or maybe start attending the meetings routinely or regularly. Take interest into the branch activities. Start discussing with your seniors, your fellow colleague anesthesiologists regarding the kind of ISA work that is going on in your city branch. And slowly, you will definitely develop interest in ISA activities. And as I said, I told you correctly that whatever is expected from that work, you will definitely get. कुठल्याच गोष्टी सुखाने मिळत नसतात. त्याच्यासाठी खूप कष्ट करावे लागतात. नुसते कष्ट करावे लागत नाही, प्रयत्न करावे लागतात आणि प्रयत्न केले तरच हार्ड वर्क विल ओनली पे यू. So my sincere suggestion to all the anesthesiologists is that start from your bench. Take small responsibilities at the beginning. Get involved in your activities at the level of city branch. Your city branch seniors will also realize that this particular fellow is interested in or is doing good work in ISA activities. And your seniors will always promote you. Every city branch needs good people to work for ISA. Slowly, your interest will develop. And when you become secretary of your ISA city branch, you will get a lot of authority to work for your city branch. And there, whatever small activities you have done as a junior till now, and whatever qualities of leadership you have nurtured till now, they will get fulfilled when you become secretary of your branch. And once you become secretary of your branch, sky is the limit for doing ISA activities. So get involved into your ISA activities. And as you said correctly, ma'am, की मी कुटुंबात बिझी आहे किंवा मला वेळच नाही आहे आणि आय एम डुईंग द कॉल, सो I should get involved in ISA activities. You have to get pleasure of doing everything. As you get pleasure of doing your day-to-day cases, as you enjoy time with your family, at the same time, if you start enjoying your work for ISA, you will definitely develop passion of doing work for the ISA, as what we all office bearers or we all leaders have that passion at the moment, that we do not consider it as an extra work. आम्ही कधीच त्याला असं म्हणत नाही की लष्कराच्या भाकऱ्या आहेत. आम्ही आजपर्यंत म्हणजे सगळेच सिटी ब्रांच प्रेसिडेंट, सेक्रेटरीज, सगळे जे काही छोटे छोटे प्रत्येक गावातले लीडर्स आहेत, they are giving something extra time out of their routine hours. So if they are doing, why not me? So everyone should think from that point of view. Should work for ISA, and you see that if you work for ISA, what you will not get. And definitely, I'm 100% sure that if you work sincerely for ISA, you will definitely get good results out of that.
Thank you, madam.
ISA is a Indian Society of Anesthesiologists, and it is it's not, it is a professionally very important for every individual professional to be associated with your colleagues, so that there are certain things in our profession which we cannot say, but as a common association we can put forth those things, so that I not only become flourish in my profession, but at the same time I avoid to get exploited. This can happen only if you are united under a banner that is ISA. And apart from this professional, definitely in your personal life, as Manisha madam has said, definitely it helps you to develop your personality and your personal life as well. So it is very important for every individual, first of all from the professional point of view, because it gives you professional protection, it gives you professional say on a platform where you can raise your voices together, which will be definitely get heard as compared to individual voice, and then your professional and family benefits. So one should become a member.
Thank you, sir.
So,
Paul sir wants to add something to that. After that,
Yeah.
I will be going to the one question that had come in the chat box before we end the session. So, Paul sir, what did you want to say?
Yeah, actually, we discussed that we should have recognition from the patient, we should have respect from the patient, we should have fame from the patient. But as an individual in a society, if you want to get a recognition, it is very difficult as an individual to get recognition in the society. But as an association, you will get recognition in the society. Like whatever we are doing as NSC ISA branches or ISA branches, we are doing COLS programs and all that are getting recognized in the society. Now our branches are getting recognition everywhere. So it is one way to get respect in the society. Another thing is that you will, if you are associated with ISA or MSc ISA, whatever association, anesthesiologist association you are in with, you have a platform to share your thoughts, your emotions, your stress, day-to-day stress. Everybody is having some stress or the other. It may be a family stress, it may be a cases, the stress coming in the stress. It may be anything which can be shared. It is easy to share all these things with your colleague. That is the same profession individual, and that's why we should get associated with our association. That is one part, that whatever you get from the association, and what if I am freelancer, I don't need any association, I am doing all my work, I am attached to 2-3 hospitals and I have no time for associational work. It is okay, but you are under these conditions, stress and all that, you want some stress buster, and that is your association. The meetings which are happening, that is, it may be a monthly meeting, it may be like webinar like these things, or it may be certain get together or picnics of association and all that, where you can get interacted with your own colleagues and you can have stress relief from your day-to-day routine, which is an important part of our life. Certain things which we cannot share even with our families, like if some surgeons have, you have some interaction with your surgeon which you cannot share with your family, but you can share with your anesthesiologist fellow colleague. So that for that only you have to interact with the other members, and our association is the most important part in this interaction. That's why I am saying that everybody should be member of ISA,
Yes.
and then they should start working with association, and they should take active participation in associational work, and after certain period they will start liking it. For first few months they may not like it. It is just like लष्कराच्या भाकऱ्या भाजणं, जसं मॅडमने सांगितलं की सुरुवातीला वाटू शकतं, but once you start taking interest in that functions, whatever happening in our branch, then you will start getting interest. Then the desire of taking certain posts like secretary, president, that will come in your mind, and then you will get recognition as a whole in the society.
Thank you, sir. Thank you all the panelists for giving a nice overview of ISA work and why we should be members of ISA and how that will benefit. I think our branch is such a beautiful branch. We enjoy being with each other, and we have become it's become a second family for all of us. And although that was the last question of our questionnaire, there have been questions which have to be taken up. So I request Dr. Seema to come up, please, and read that question you were talking about. Somebody's posted a question
Ma'am,
regarding.
Yes, madam. There is only one question regarding like who should be giving the pre of fitness, whether we should give or we should take a pre of fitness from physician also.
Yeah.
Is
It
it
is,
like maybe
it is
the
a
speaker wants to-
anesthesiologist. It is a very clear, all this topic has been discussed. It is very clear that you are an anesthesiologist, you are delivering anesthesia, and it is you who is going to decide a fitness for anesthesia of that particular patient in the form of graded as per the risk given. You can take the opinion of a physician regarding certain things which you feel like, and which will help you in stabilizing the patient, reducing the risk. But ultimately, anesthesia fitness and anesthesia risk stratification is done by anesthesia. Even in the legal court of law, it is not like even if physician writes that he is unfit for anesthesia, it has got no meaning in a court of law as well. It is the anesthesiologist who stratifies as per the risk in this thing, and then explain it to the patient and relatives and surgeon. It is a combined team. Even if you see the pre-op checklist by WHO, nowhere there is a physician involved. It is a surgeon, anesthesiologist, and a team.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was a nice piece of
Sir said
information.
correctly, yeah. But as sir said correctly, like you have to take opinion of a particular specialty if you want that, like cardiologist opinion. But that should be only the opinion. That should not be fitness of anesthesia. And this is important because every specialty is developing. Patient is having complex problems, medical problems, and comorbidities. It is always better to discuss with particular specialty, take their opinion. Not only that, I will give fitness for anesthesia from cardiac point of view. It should not be like that. Take opinion of all the specialty branches and then discuss that situation with the patient as well as relatives and the surgeon. And you will be the one who will be giving fitness for that particular surgical procedure as far as anesthesia is concerned.
Yes. That was a good advice, madam. Like we call it optimization by the physician. Like if the patient has chronic diseases like diabetes, hypertension, how he can be made best fit for, to undergo that procedure at that time, and any alteration in the medication that will be necessary for him to undergo that operation. So I think that is.
There's one small question. Actually, we have already discussed that one. Can a CPS member become ISA member? We have already discussed, but still one can opine on that.
Yeah.
Actually,
See, madam, this has been discussed for a long time, even in our national meetings and GBM also. Now the problem with like few years back, even the CPS members were not associate life members of ISA also. Not even, in fact, it was only 3-4 years back. With constant efforts from leaders like Dr. Hitendra Mahajan, Dr. Milind Kaur, at least the CPS members have become now associate life members of ISA. The problem with them is that their degrees are, whatever the CPS degrees are there at the moment, they are not recognized by Medical Council of India or now we call it as NMC. So unless we get yes from, a nod from MCI, they still cannot be made life member of ISA. And that is at the moment the issue with those members. So at the moment they are ALM getting all the benefits of ISA other than voting. My seniors, Dr. Mahajan and Dr. Kaur want to add something for that?
Yeah, actually, this issue is pending since many years. So we have constantly tried to convince the national leaders that if we can't give them life membership, they will not come in mainstream. That's why we should take in. But their concern is also good, right? That these diploma courses are not recognized by MCI. So now the question remains that if whenever NMC will recognize the CPS, then only they will come as active members, and that will be from backdated. It is not like that. Then henceforth they will be life member. I think now the CPS college is to be taken up by NMC, and admission to CPS are also through mainstream, that is NEET, PG, and all that. So if that happens, then they will automatically become life member. But at present, they are not getting life membership. They are getting associate life membership. So they don't have voting right.
Okay. Dr. Maya, Dr. Seema, can we
Yes,
conclude?
just 1 second. I want one tip from all the experts. Like few people, they always say ki I'm busy, which we have already discussed. But how to encourage these people to be in the ISA or to be in the city branches and take the leadership or take the responsibility of ISA? Please give us the tips, or maybe all delegates can be benefited with that.
So whatever specialty they are practicing of
This is
anesthesiology,
difficult
cardiac,
question.
whatever
Yes, yes.
specialty they are practicing, like
Difficult questions, but experts are there, so they can answer very well, I think.
yeah, if they are practicing some specialty like pediatric anesthesia, cardiac anesthesia, laparoscopy, OBGYN, and all that, arrange certain CMEs through them. Ask them to call the particular faculty, ask them to communicate with the faculty, try to involve them in that CME as an anchor or as a moderator, or even you can have chairperson, so that they will think that they are somebody. What they are saying, thinking that I am nobody. So you have to make them aware that you are somebody and you are important for us.
Yes.
That's why you just give them weightage. Now what they are thinking is, these people don't need me. Whereas you have to say that you are much needed for our association. So ask them to get involved in certain activities of your association, and then they will think that it's okay. Yeah, if they are giving me some say weightage or prestige through association, I can join the association. That is what
Very
I
good
think.
tips. Very good, very good. Yeah, I agree. Manisha,
I would
you
just
want
like
to say
to,
something?
just like to add whatever sir has said. Absolutely, give them importance, and that is what everyone, even a small gesture of encouraging words, that makes the difference. That yes, मी काहीतरी छान केलंय आणि माझ्या सोसायटीला ते आवडलंय. But at the same time, you remember, you also nurture their small hobbies also. Like somebody might be good in poems, so arrange some kavi sammelan, arrange some program in your ICCT branches, arrange something. कोणी खूप छान गातंय, somebody is a good player, somebody is a fitness freak. So encourage them for whatever hobbies they are developing or nurturing. Involve them in your ISA activities. तू टॉक द्यायला ये ना, तू वेट लिफ्टिंग खूप छान करतोस आणि वी विल गेट बेनिफिटेड. तू आमच्या आपल्याला आज उद्याच्या क्लिनिकल मीटिंग नंतर तू 10 मिनिटं टॉक द्यायला ये ना. वी आर इंटरेस्टेड इन वेट लिफ्टिंग, पण आम्हाला बेसिक काहीच माहित नाहीये. You are fitness freak. Come to our meeting. Tell us about how you do it. How you maintain your weight. How you are looking so fresh and healthy. So how you are doing this? Such kind of small gestures, some encouraging words are needed for every single individual. प्रत्येकालाच लागतात ते, लहान छोट्या बाळापासून सिनियर आजोबांपर्यंत सगळ्यांना दोन कौतुकाचे शब्द इथे स्पर्शून जातात आणि हवे असतात. सो लेट अस ऍक्सेप्ट दिस फॅक्ट. दिस इज अ सिम्पल फॅक्ट ऑफ ह्युमन नेचर. आणि सगळ्यांना इन्व्हॉल्व करण्याकरता बेसिकली प्रत्येकाच्या जवळ पोचा. रीच leader, secretary and the president of that city branch should reach every individual anesthesiologist, nurture their small habits on the platform of ISA, and that is the simple answer for this question, and they will definitely take interest in your ISA activities.
Yes, very true. Thank you so much. Any questions from delegates?
No, I don't think there are any questions in the chat box as such.
Maya, may I conclude?
If somebody wants to add on something or some interactive discussions they want to do, it's open for it. All 40 delegates are there.
Actually, Sureka Shinde madam has put one line in chat box. I think I was just going through that. She said that some surgeons have a habit to have music in OT during operation. Actually, if you think a light music can relax the tension in the OT to a certain extent. But then if that is annoying or that is causing
Disturbing.
disturbance in your particular concentration, then you can ask to mute it. Or any particular important step is going on in a surgery where the surgeon and you both want concentration, then you can ask to mute it. But otherwise,
Yes.
if the main steps are over and now we are relaxed some bit, then you can have light music in the OT, but that will decrease the tension in the OT. That is what I suppose.
Yeah, it is since 20 years. When we were in Sion Hospital, the plastic surgeon used to play the music. And then whenever we used to do the intubation and extubation, we used to tell them, now please switch it off. And they used to listen to us. So that can be done, of course, with the mutual understanding. No issues.
Yes, and I have done a few experiments reading about and working with music therapy. It is helpful, but it requires some pre-priming of the patient, because the patient has to be taken into consideration. If the patient doesn't like music, then it doesn't work at all, or at times he may get annoyed also. So that's a very different and very big topic. Maybe
and you have
I'll say
to
something
inform
about it later on.
Basically,
But I can
you have
see
to inform to the patient if he is under
Yes.
spinal or regional.
Yes.
Then we are
Yes.
going to play a music. Would you like to listen to it? Or
Yes.
maybe with permission, whatever
Yes.
way we have to discuss with the patient first, if he is under regional anesthesia.
Yes.
If it is under general, then it is okay.
Yeah.
But sometimes patient might take objection that surgeon and anesthesia, they
Yes.
were
Yes, it has happened. It has happened. It has happened. Yes. And the kind of music also, what the patient likes. I can see Dr. Shubhangi Kothari raising a hand. Does she want to ask something?
I would like to say something. Is it okay? For time?
We can't hear you.
Yes, ma'am. You can just go ahead quickly.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, your voice is not clear, but you can go ahead.
It's okay. If it's not audible, then you go ahead. You can cancel it.
Unmute करा तुम्ही बहुतेक unmute नाही केलेलं आहे.
At society level, I'll just like to summarize. Am I audible?
Yes. Yeah, very clear.
In last 1 hour, if you see maximum questions, what we are trying to discuss is remuneration, legal implication, recognition, satisfaction. So all these 5 things are actually interrelated, and they play important role in our life as an individual level as well as our association level. In this, I'd like to tell each and every anesthesiologist, they should not forget that what is a constant in the life is the change. Change is the only constant thing which remains with us. And this change should be in the form of upgradation. It can be upgradation in the form of skills, upgradation in the form of knowledge, upgradation in the form of presentation, upgradation in the form of contact. Whatever it is, you should be ready, you should be welcome, you should be courageous enough to bring that change in your life. And then only you can reap the fruit of it. You cannot be like, okay, every day I am giving spinal and I should be happy and I should get more work and I should be recognized. It is not going to happen. You should be ready to accept all the changes, whatever are coming in your life, with a courage and with a welcome gesture, and then see how it brings everything, money, recognition, respect, everything will come to you and it will follow.
Shankar Gosavi has raised the hand. Sir wants to add something.
Am I audible, madam?
Yes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Good evening to all. I am from ISS Satara branch. I just after saying the whatever from Hitendra sir, Milind and Madam Katikar Madam, I think discussion was very good. I just want to add 2-3 things. One is help. When you said when you are in critical cardiac arrest on table, we have a system at our place where one person is called at from that person. Whoever is facing the problem, he calls one person. That other person who is contacted first, he see to it that he calls other people. If he is busy, otherwise he'll call other people and see to it that he reaches he gets the help, whatever needed. So make a point that he should not, the person who is in need should not call, waste time in calling 2-3 people or like that. The system should be that whoever is first called, he is see to that he gets required help. That is one thing. Another thing which we have discussed, that holidays and all, that one should not worry about, because what I am telling you, my personal experience, I have gone through, I have done Narmada Parikrama, I went to Kailas Manas Yatra, I have gone to Rotary missions for Nigeria for 15 days, then Damtari, Mandla, anywhere Rotary work. So 15 days, 20 days, nothing matters. Until date, I have not, my whoever is calling me, he has not changed. Those people who are worried that these things, in this thing, only thing is that whenever you are planning, practicing since last 15-20 years, now you have to decide to whom you are going to continue for longer period, and you choose the people. Otherwise, if they keep on changing and those thing, every junior person comes, then senior is tested whether he can take less charges or whether this, you just forget. You have to see that if you have selected persons that you have to work for these people for longer period, then it is very, very easy, and there is no fear of losing your contract also. That is one thing I wanted to say. Another thing, but last, the charges or the remuneration. Whenever there is a difficult case, always involve your colleague whenever you want to other patients help from the number one pre-op visit only, so that he or she knows everything pre-operative. Otherwise, if you start the case and call at the last moment, then there is no point. It is better. And remuneration, if you tell relatives and surgeon, there is no point in discussing, and they understand that when there is service of 2 people, there is no problem. Now, another thing is that suppose when planning the cases, if there is a TM joint ankylosis or some other problem intubation, you call for help in advance only. You don't call at the 11th hour. That is basic problem. Failed spinal and that whenever you want help, that can be instant, and then you can call at that time. But for the intubation difficulties, you have to evaluate in advance airway problems, and you call the person in advance only. Don't wait for the 2-3 attempts of your intubation, failed intubation, and then you are under stress, and then you call someone else. You call in the beginning only to reduce the stress. And last but not the least, as Manisha Madam has already said, national level we are discussing about the charges and this thing. All the faculty persons, they are charging, including radiology, pathology, they are charging like us. They are like tertiary branches only. They are charging their own charges from the patient. Why can't we implement the same system that we collect patient charges from patient only? So there is no question of exploitation. Whoever is surgeon or anesthesiologist, if he says this fellow is going to take 5,000 for the Caesar, and night charges will be 7,500 or something like that, or whatever it is in this case, then patients are willing to pay. There is no problem. That is what I am telling you, saying instead of fearing problems of exploitation, all you charge directly to the patient. You collect charges from the patient. There are people who plead that in emergency there are no charges, they are not with the money. It is okay now. They stay in the hospital for 1 week. Caesarean patient doesn't get discharged on 3rd day. They are there, so we can collect. You can ask surgeon to collect on our behalf that this is my charges. Unless
Thank you
you
very
charge,
much, sir. Thank you very much for all your inputs. We will definitely take the cardiac arrest team suggestion into account and think about it. It was a very important and a valuable session we had today. I'm sure we are all one step ahead in reaching solutions to our problems now. All of us have doubts and difficulties, but friends, we have help and communication facilities now. We must remember the valuable pieces of advice given by our panelists. And to conclude, I would like to add a little something to it. Surface, face, and forget. Surface, face, and forget we must. We all have issues, let them surface. Don't brood over it. Talk to your friends, talk to your colleagues. And I'm sure everyone here has one or two more good friends because of our branch activities. Then face the issues. Be bold enough to put your foot down, speak your mind out, do what your inner self says is correct. And now forget it. Once you have done what you must done, forget it. Don't take things deep down to your heart. Life is precious. Mahajan sir's advice was very good. Life is precious and there is much more to life than anesthesia and practice. So stay safe, my friends, stay healthy and enjoy your work. Now I request our Secretary, Dr. Seema Suryavanshi, to propose a vote of thanks.
Thank you, Uma Madam. Good evening, everyone. On behalf of the team SAPC and as a Secretary of SAPC, I take the privilege to thank our today's speakers, Dr. Sangeeta Deshpande Madam, our experienced and expert panelists, Dr. Manisha Katikar Madam, Dr. Milind Kaur Sir, Dr. Hitendra Mahajan Sir, who have spared their valuable time and given us inputs and have cleared all our doubts on this topic. Thank you, Maharashtra State Chapter ISA, for providing us with the technical support for the program. I thank all the participants for being there with us today and taking part in the discussion. There were many comments by the participants. They really liked the inputs given by the expert panelists. I thank Dr. Neelavati and Dr. Uma Deshmukh Madam for a wonderful anchoring of the webinar. We are also grateful to Dr. Sare Sir and all the office bearers of Maharashtra State Chapter who have joined in for today's webinar. And last but not the least, I would like to take this opportunity to appeal all the SAPC members to become the FBF members. I request you all to contact Dr. Neelavati Kasnale, who is heading our FBF part from our society. Please do contact her or any other office bearer for the same. I hope I hope to get many more new FBF members after this webinar.
And I hope many more members will get the confidence to have a good anesthesia practice fearlessly, basically.
And one more announcement. We will be working, our executive team will be working on the society charges, updating the anesthesia charges in the coming month. And we will be letting you know and also contacting the SAPC members regarding this. So thank you once again, all the panelists and all the participants for joining and making this webinar a success.
Thank you.
Thank you, Manisha Madam. Thank you, Milind Sir. Thank you, Hitendra Sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And I think Sagnyancha queries and all discussions were very fruitful and they'll benefit with this discussion, I think. There are juniors, basically, most of the people, they are juniors. They don't know how to do the private practice. They have been exploited. And so I think this discussion will help them. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Madam, can I end the meeting now?
Yes, you can.
Okay, fine. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.